Okay. Welcome to my sketchbook tour. Thank you for joining me, I guess. Okay, so this sketchbook is from January to March of this year. Sorry about my voice ahead of time. I have a hard time pronouncing my R's, which you'll probably notice pretty fast. And I know it's super annoying because it's not very melodious. But if you'll bear with me, we can do this. Okay. So, first of all, near the beginning of this, I was going through a major Paranatural phase. For those of you who don't know, Paranatural is a webcomic by Zach Morrison. It is great. It is phenomenal. I think I've done a few AMVs for it up on my channel. And I also love Legend of Zelda. So you'll see a lot of Legend of Zelda cropping up. Constantly doing Legend of Zelda. I was going through a major kick when I had this. A lot of doodles. Over the Garden Wall randomly appears out of nowhere occasionally. More Paranatural because it's just awesome. The story is great. The characters are great. The plot is great. The world building is great. Everything about Paranatural is fantastic. It's just spot on, man. More Paranatural, one of my favorite characters. I like characters where their hair falls over their eyes. I don't do that much, but it is one of the things I love. At some point, I discovered Miraculous Ladybug. So that sure is a thing that exists, which I love. That's great. The Reincarnation Waiting Room, this is all I have for it, but someday I would love to do a short animation for it. It would be about this one character who he dies in war or something from like forever ago. Probably during like the Byzantine Empire. And so he gets into the reincarnation waiting line because he wants to be reincarnated. And the reincarnation is one of those things where you like pick a number and wait in line. So he picks his number and it's like 8,000,000 gajillion bazillion, you know? And so he gets in line and he's waiting and he's waiting. And it's about him waiting and seeing all these different weird characters and talking to them and stuff. And at one point, his friend dies and he's like, "Oh, you're dead too." And he's like, "Yeah, but I'm gonna get reincarnated too." And his friend goes and he pulls his number from the ticket thing and it's like, "Oh, number 3." And he moves to the front and is reincarnated instantly. It's just a silly idea. Anyway, Lapis Lazuli. So, you'll notice this in here. I have a lot of like random notes everywhere. I have a little bit of anxiety, not really bad, but I'll get it about stuff. So my way of coping is I write it down. The other thing that you'll see written down in here is just things I've heard, things I've said, things I've thought, things I've noticed about other people, little tidbits of stories that don't actually fit with any of the pictures. I just write them down everywhere. Here's some more Paranatural stuff. I was going through such a major kick. I love that character. That character is cute. There's this one snake that has like a lot of eyes and a lot of mouths and is pretty cool. But yeah, lots of Paranatural for these first few little bit. Those are two of my OCs. That's more Paranatural. This is one of my OCs. His name is Briar, and he'll probably pop up again a few more times. He's a sweetheart. I have had him for a few years. He has his own little storyline and everything that who knows if I'll ever actually do anything with it. Oh yeah. So Pokemon Go was hyping a lot around this time. So I did some stuff for that, but my brother found me a copy of Silver, like the original Silver Pokemon game. So I was playing that. And so cradling a little Kakuna. It's a Beedrill now. You'll be happy to know. More Nehru, more Feyor, more designs of different stuff. I don't like this picture that much. I love the Zora though. The Zora are cool. The Zora's designs are neat. I love Twilight Princess Zoras. I love the Zoras from like Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. I love Zora. More notes. Wings, because who hasn't drawn wings randomly all the time? Maybe it's just me. OC! This OC that uses a staff because she should not be allowed near sharp things because she'd probably poke her eyes out. She's a bit of a klutz. Bad dragon. I got a reference for a head, so then I got around to drawing better dragons. Some attempts of drawing people in real life in my style. Just a lot of random stuff is in here. Here we have, oh, sorry, that's my thumb. Unfinished Business, if you've seen that on my channel. For Undertale. I like Undertale. I think the story is really, really phenomenal. The fandom's a little interesting, if I'll put it that way. It's a little scary, actually. You know, they've kind of made their own interpretations and stuff. But I love the storyline of Undertale. I love the plot. I love the idea. I think it's a very cute game, and someday I'd love to play it on my own. Let's see, we'll rock through the rest of this Undertale stuff. And Gravity Falls finale occurred, and so I tried to draw Gravity Falls. I've never really been good at drawing Gravity Falls. It's something that's never come easy for me, so I give up after a few pages. This is the best dipper I've ever drawn, and it was a bipper. Go figure. Eyeballs, you know. The usual Gravity Falls stuff. Okay, shark dragons, man. Shark dragons. Ask me about shark dragons. They have they would have two different sets of ribs, and their arms would tuck up into them when they're swimming, and they wouldn't really go out on land for that long, but they can. I don't know, man. Shark dragons. Oh, and whale dragons, but I'm less excited about whale dragons. Whale dragons are chill. I don't know. I like multiple eyes. I have a thing for multiple eyes. These are two of my OCs, and those lyrics are from Always Gold. I was introduced to that awesome song from a Warriors MAP. If you know it, you know it's great. Here are some more OCs, some more concepts for OCs. I like Muffet from Undertale. I think her design's neat, and I think it's just different to attempt to draw people with multiple arms. I don't usually do that. Not most of my characters have multiple arms. So we have a lot of that. Some different OC thinkings. I drew this entire picture for one reason. That would be me. I would be that character in this situation. I would not have any cool. I would lose my cool. I would be screaming. I would probably be crying. I would not be helpful. OCs. I have a lot of OCs. I don't really do much with them, though. They just kind of exist. But that's one of the things I like about Legend of Zelda is all of the different characters. It's just so unique in that way. The same character has 8 million designs, and you can choose which one you like the most. You can choose how they behave. Like, you know, usually people think Twilight Princess Zelda is really uptight, and then, you know, Tetra is like flippin' awesome. That's how I would draw Zelda. I want a Zelda with really poofy bangs, just like that. Someday it will happen. If you know Twilight Princess, then you know Prince Rallis, and I really love Prince Rallis. He's a Zora, he's cute, he's small. I love Rallis. More fun with this. The texture of this paper makes it act really weird with Copics. So, those are Copics, but they don't really look like it, because they, like I said, they behave really weird on this paper. It's like almost waxy. This was a gift. I did not choose this paper. The paper chose me. We have more Zelda stuff. I don't know who she is, but she's cute. More Zelda stuff. I was going through such a major kick right at this point. I think it's because I had Ocarina of Time at that time. Fan game. I don't actually make fan games, but I enjoy thinking about plots for games, you know? Like one where there's this enemy and they wear a Majora's Mask and you're like, oh, who are they? And then it's Zelda and you're like, oh, no. But everyone would probably know, to be honest. Zelda games have just such a history of doing that kind of thing. Deku Scrub Link is cute. Zora. I told you I was obsessed with Zora. I warned you. This is one of Brownie Fox's. Their name's is spelled weird, but they're on Tumblr. One of their OCs. The music, actually 2 of their OCs. The music here is The Dancing and the Dreaming from How to Train Your Dragon 2. And if you actually pay attention, you'll see that a lot of the lyrics are wrong because I didn't have any Wi-Fi at this time. So I just kind of winged it. I just kind of guessed what the words were if I couldn't remember what they were. This is a comic I did because some of our OCs intersect. I'm not thrilled with it though, mostly because look at how like teeny and baby my character looks. I drew him like that, even though he should look like that. Instead he looks like 12. Miraculous Ladybug again. Catbug would probably be their child. Chihiro. If you see stuff like this, where it's like really, really like debatable, you're like, what is that? Probably means I was having a bad day. That's what those typically mean. I mean, sometimes I just draw them but... Oh, hey, look, a cookie recipe. Quick, everybody screenshot. This is the cookie recipe I use. I was using this yesterday, and I found this written up in the corner. And I don't really know what it means. I feel like I should know it, but I don't. Scruffaluffagus. Different random character. Okay, so before Hamilton, I was going through a major Warriors kick. Like, major. I was trying to read Dawn of the Clans. I never actually finished reading them. Their writing style is different than what I'm used to. So I didn't actually get around to it, but since I can't draw cats, I draw them as humans, and I enjoy thinking about how the books would work if they were humans. So I figure the mountain cats have these super big billowing cloaks, so that when like giant eagles try to come down and grab them, instead they would just grab the coat and stuff. It would make it hard to pin down where the actual person is among this bunch of coat. Anyway, that's that without the coat. Just some more different designs and stuff and thinking. That's how I imagine Tall Shadow would probably look. Those are feathers in her hair. Firestar, Blue Star, a Bad Bramble Star. That's supposed to be Firestar and Cloudpaw, but doesn't really look like it. And then the Noodlers made that awesome video for J Feather and Half Moon. Satisfied. And it just caught my eye because I've always loved J Feather and Half Moon. They are my favorite. Oh. These are Half Moon designs. Trying to figure that out. That's a J Feather. That's J Feather and Half Moon. Okay. This is more of what I think about is, they would probably have, over time, they would get these beads on a necklace for different achievements they get. And the necklace itself is what they're given at birth. And the front of it has like a symbol that represents the first part of their name. Like for Firestar, it would be fire because he's always Fire Paw or Fire Heart or Fire Star. And then once they're an apprentice, they can insert into the back of it a paw, like Fire Paw. And then once they get their full name, their warrior name, they get something that represents that. So Fire Heart would get a heart. And then deputies get earrings. And leaders get tiaras. Heck yeah. This is Satisfied if you've seen that. It's for J Feather and Half Moon. These are some more sketches. I think that's supposed to be Gray Stripe. And I think that's supposed to be Silver Stream. But I'm not really sure. Blue Paw, Blue Fur, Deputy Edition. I've always loved Ivy Pool. I think she's cool. I've always enjoyed those type of characters. The ones, like the thought of characters where it's like, they're not the one of prophecy. They're not the special one. And you can't really blame them for the actions they end up committing. Like Ivy Pool doing the whole Dark Forest thing because they made her feel wanted when no one else was. I think about that a lot. If you haven't seen the Yorktown MAP that's getting worked on for Warriors, it's great. The video for the MAP itself is exciting, so I'm excited for the real thing to eventually be finished. They have Ivy Pool as Hercules Mulligan, which I think fits her great. And that's a Deputy Fireheart. I have a lot of lazy doodles. These are OCs. A bunch of OCs. I have a lot of OCs. They all exist. That sure is a thing. Oh yeah, and if you can't tell by this point, I've listened to Hamilton, and I'm starting to get sucked in, but I'm not quite there yet. These are some more Brownie Foxes, different OCs. That's my baby. His name is Reagan. He is a sweetheart. That's Briar again. He keeps kind of changing. There's Reagan. I love him. That's an OC. These are designs I'm the kind of person that does fan fiction, of course. One of my fan fiction, I had Hercules Mulligan in it, and like every other person in the world, Hercules was a designer, so I had to design the actual outfits that I was writing, because sometimes when I visualize them in my head, they're not as pretty as they actually end up looking, if that makes sense. You probably have seen some of my Hamilton stuff if you've seen my compilation post. A lot of it gets shoved on there. This is some random stuff I did during AP. I draw a lot during classes. I actually have to put my sketchbook away whenever I'm in math. Otherwise, I don't focus on math enough. And I can't do the homework because I've been too busy drawing all day. This is a design where after I drew it, I realized how ugly it was. So then I changed it to that. I would buy that design. I would make that design. Except I can't buy fabric because I'm too poor. But someday I wish to make this design. That is a bad pose. Android OC, random picture, other random stuff. There's a squirrel out of nowhere. OMG, is that Marilyn Monroe moment? Probably. A lot of doodles. This is from the Superhero AU. If you've watched Just Out, goes with that. It's a Hamilton Superhero AU, but it's kind of really, the further we get into it, the more it's become separated from Hamilton, as in, like, it kind of uses the same ideas of characters, but it really has evolved into its own story. More like what 50 Shades of Grey is for Twilight, except with zero smut, and not as badly written. Anyway, so this is character design or superhero costume design for Lafayette. This is also before I knew how to draw Lafayette. Never trust me with like Sharpies or colored pens or stuff, because I'll just use my time doodling with them. Or if I have a highlighter, making it bubblegum hair. That is sure what I did. In the Superhero AU, Lafayette has metal legs, so I spent way more time than I need to deciding how metal legs would work. So I did that. This is Congratulations. It was originally going to be a comic book set format. It didn't really end up being that. Eventually I said screw it. As you can see, here's something I drew with fancy crayons, aka oil pastels, because I found out I still had those from like 4 years ago and I hadn't used them. This is from the end of Congratulations, if you've ever watched that. That's where this comes in. This is where I actually took note of how to draw Alexander. So I start being able to draw Alexander kind of how I do now, but not really. That's more Congratulations. Some more doodles. A beastie goo out of nowhere, just because. And then the rest of this is pretty much just stressed out. If you've watched that, it goes with the Superhero AU. There's some parts of it that I never actually ended up putting up because I didn't like how it turned out. Oh, that's a Mogma from Legend of Zelda. But that's pretty much all I have in this one. I have some different oil sketches, but none of them really turned out phenomenal. Well, I hope you enjoyed this one. And the next one, which should be posted at some point after this one is posted, hopefully within the same, 5 minutes or something, will be my other sketchbook. Thank you.